Hi, this is Monica
and Lindy
from Huckleberry Mountain Botanical School of Herbalism.
All right,
so I'm going to start out with some leeks, you guys. You know, what I do is just take off that outer, you know, the outer pieces. I already did it, so. But if I see some dirt in here, I'll go ahead and rinse it off. But usually, once you take off that outer leaf, you don't have any serious dirt. If you do, just go ahead and rinse it off. It's not a big deal. It's kind of like cabbage. You're only washing off really the outer parts. You're not really getting that inner part. So it's totally up to you how you handle that. But I usually take off the outer leaf and then check to see if I have any remaining dirt. And in this case, like, I don't have any at all. But if you don't want to use leeks, or if you don't have them and you want to just throw this together, you can replace it with white onion, and that's perfectly fine too. And when you do these leeks, I love the taste of leek. And Shamra, be brave, step out, go out and get some leeks, and I think you'll really appreciate the little bit of different taste that it brings versus onions. I'm just slicing these. Not super thin, but fairly thin. And I'm only going to be using the white part. So once I get into, when I start getting a little bit darker, I'm starting to move kind of into a light green area. It changes the texture. And so you don't want to get into this. This part up here is very fibrous.
Shamra does love them.
Oh, love leeks. Okay, great.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Then go for it.
Yes. I love the mild onion flavor, and it just is a little bit different. So I'm getting a little bit higher here. It's getting into the green, and I'm going to stop there. And I'll set that aside. And, you know, some things that will save you time on this recipe in particular is Lindy and I prepared garbanzo beans. And what we ended up doing with the garbanzo beans actually is we soaked them, cooked them, put them in freezer bags, and stuck them in the freezer. And then we have really quick access to garbanzo beans. And you guys, it's so much easier than purchasing cans. Totally. I mean, it's cooking up your own garbanzo beans is just not a big deal.
Yeah, and if you do it this way, you don't have to cook them up like every single meal,
yeah,
which is nice. And it's cheaper. You know, you can buy in bulk.
Quick and easy. But I'm going to go ahead and saute these up. I've got just a couple of tablespoons of olive oil in here. Getting this done. The other thing to help save time too is pre-making your bone broth. Now, you don't have to use bone broth. You can use water with bouillon. You know, try and get the more natural bouillon, or you can go and just purchase boxes or cans of chicken broth.
Yeah.
But it will make it much healthier if you make your own bone broth, which we did. This had what, astragalus and bay leaf, and then chicken. So I'm gonna come over here real quick.
I guess they get a close-up now.
Oh, sweet. Okay, come over here real quick, and I'm going to start doing this garlic so that it can sit for just a few minutes before we add it into our soup. All right, I'm going to start doing this here. Taking this out. And I'm going to keep this outer piece because I just love these. Just throw them in. And the other thing is with the soup too, is that one thing you can do if you want is after it's all cooked and put together, you can put it in a immersion blender and just blend it to, you know, a nice smooth thing. I'm not necessarily going to do that because I actually don't mind there being chunks and pieces in there. I like things to be a little spicy, so I'm actually chopping up some jalapenos that Sean pulled in from our garden. They got a little frozen, but they're actually not too bad. I'm gonna chop these puppies up. We're gonna make them nice and small, but we're gonna add that spice. If you don't like spice, this isn't in the original recipe. I just really like spice. We all do in this family, so yep. We're adding extra. Yeah, no, that's hot. we just put in some pumpkin. This is not pumpkin pie filling. This is plain pumpkin.
That would be disgusting.
One thing you could do though with your with the pumpkin is that you could actually bake up your own pumpkin and then use that instead of buying it from a can. But it's getting there. We've hardly put anything in. Like I said, I baked this, but if you don't want to bake it, the original recipe calls for just cubing it, putting it in the liquid, and then
You would simmer it.
For 15 minutes.
Like crazy chef. He tosses everything.
He's just like a tosser. He just like, that's me when I cook.
Yeah.
I cook like a crazy person. It's a fun way to cook. All right, well this is looking really nice to cook it. But if you aren't using the golden paste that we made, you can go back and do that, or you can just take the same spices, but you need to make sure to heat them up because it helps bring out the aromatics in the spice. It's very tasty. All right. And then our son just got back from Curried, and he brought a spicy salt. They have a bunch of salt. They're not mines. What are those things called? Pools?
Pools, like
Salt pools.
yeah.
And he went ahead and brought home some salt from there, and this has some extra spice in it too. You can never have enough spice. Well, maybe you can, but we can't. Well, maybe you can, even then. But the coconut milk is going to...
Oh, it's going to make it a lot milder, especially if we include this nice fat that's at the top here.
Yeah, but I am going to throw in this turmeric paste here. I can, and I'm going to do a couple of tablespoons here of this turmeric paste. As always, recipes are meant to be adjusted, right?
Yeah.
And adjust these to your liking, to your taste. This coconut milk is going to cut back on that spiciness a little bit. So if you like it a little more spicy, then go ahead and leave out, don't put in a whole can. And then you can just let this, you could have let this simmer before you even add the coconut milk to bring out some of the spice if you're adding jalapenos like I did. I learned my lesson with sauteing jalapeno too much with like leeks or onions because everybody in the house starts, it's like getting their eyes are watering. It's a gas chamber. So this is a cup of beans, a cup of garbanzo beans, and basically at this point you're just going to warm it up. And let's go ahead and throw in that garlic. Oh yum, garlic. Who doesn't love garlic? We ended up putting in about 10 cloves. All right, so I think that is it.
We'll see you tomorrow at 6:30.
So until tomorrow and until next time, health and joy.
Bye.
Bye.